off-duty cop kills 2 Marines in a car crash. Very violent one. Families of 2 U.S. Marines killed in a car crash last year, James Patton and Samantha Barrios, are still calling for the prosecution of Michael Patton, the off-duty deputy who fell asleep behind the wheel while going 90 miles per hour. Crash happened on Patton's birthday weekend after he'd been coming home from a hip-hop show in Los Angeles. Driver hit a median wall on the freeway. The car was too damaged to drive. Patton and his 2 friends got out to call a tow truck. Patton and Samantha Barrios got back in the vehicle because it was cold outside. Just devastating. You look at their pictures. 10 minutes later, the car was still sitting in the high occupancy lane with the lights off at 3:48 a.m. when records say Patton plowed into them with his Chevy truck. 26-year-old deputy had just gotten off work at 3 a.m. According to the report, was driving about 90 miles per hour, more than 30 miles over the limit in a construction zone. The LA Times with the reporting. When a highway patrol sergeant later asked him what happened, Patton said, I fell asleep. Last thing he remembered before nodding off, according to the report, was getting on the freeway from State Route 91. Now, in the long year that it took California Highway Patrol to file an accident report, a year, and the wait for them to tell reporters about the deaths, Michael Patton, father of James Patton, says it felt like they were saying his son's life and Samantha's did not matter. In the meantime, both families filed lawsuits against the deputy, LA County, and others. The loss of any life is a tragedy, not only for the victim's family, but for the entire community that loved them. Kimberly Ed, spokeswoman for the district attorney's office, wrote in a statement to the Times on Thursday. One of our veteran homicide prosecutors is carefully reviewing the facts of the case to determine what criminal charges can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. We're hoping to see that the district attorney does prosecute and that he does end up doing some time. Told the Times the police are not above the law. I know that the deputy didn't leave his house thinking, I want to kill these Marines, Nancy Barrios said. It was a mistake, but there are consequences for a mistake, she continued. In my heart, I know he didn't mean to, but these are our children. In a statement Monday, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said it was aware of the tragic accident involving an off-duty deputy. We will continue to monitor the investigation, the department said. I guess react to this, Rayyvana. It's horrific. You see these young people with so much living to do who clearly died so violently. Just horrific. And to learn that someone is speeding at that rate and uttering the report, and to be believed, the report that they fell asleep, it's just too much to take for a mother, a father, a family of these 2 loved ones.
It is absolutely devastating. I don't enjoy the framing of it by the police department that called it a tragic accident. It was avoidable entirely, and I think that they're diminishing what happened here by referring to it in that way. As someone who has a sleep disorder that prevents me from legally driving, I just want to remind everybody that if you feel tired while you're behind the wheel, pull over, take a nap, because it could be your life. It could be the lives of others. It could be serious bodily injury. It's not worth it. Just take a nap in your car, sleep it off, and then drive home a little bit later. It's not worth it. And then just to that end, there are plenty of crimes he could be charged with. If he wasn't a cop, he would have been charged already. I mean, he admitted he fell asleep. This is an open and shut case. You charge him with manslaughter or reckless homicide, reckless driving. There's any number of things he could be charged with. And the only reason he hasn't yet is because he's being protected because he is a police officer. And these families are so right to be demanding justice right now. And I really feel for the family member who said, we know he didn't intend to do it, but he still needs to be held accountable. And she's absolutely right. And if he were anyone else, he would have been already. And they need to keep that pressure on. We need to keep this pressure on because they deserve to be alive right now. And there's nothing that can be done to bring them back. But at least the families can be at peace knowing some justice has been served in this case, or at least that they're attempting to serve justice, because they don't even have that reassurance right now. It doesn't even look like for them, or from where I'm sitting, that anything is going to happen. It seems like they're putting this on the back burner until attention dies down so that they can sweep it under the rug. And we see that so often with these police departments protecting their own, or well-connected members of their community. So attention needs to be continuously put on this until they file charges.
I think you're absolutely right. The next worst thing to losing your son, your daughter, brother, sister, someone you love dearly and don't want to be without, is realizing that the person who is responsible for their deaths is in law enforcement. This is a story we report time and time again. And what I just said is factual. It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. And it's not bashing police. It's a fact that we report time and time again. There's all this weird stuff that seems to go on or never happens in investigations involving law enforcement. So the family is right to demand justice, to ask questions. We're right to cover it from that angle. It's a factual thing. And I just hurt for them, because if you can't get your loved one back, you at least want to know they didn't. Well, you want to know they mattered. You want to know they mattered in some small way. And this would be a small way, okay? You don't get to hug them. You don't get to hear an answer back when you tell them you love them anymore. But it just seems like the empathy is not there unless, and we know people like this, something happens to me. And too often it seems that law enforcement is very protective of their own and not of everyone else, not with the same vigor anyway. We'll keep following that story. Breaks your heart.